So, hi guys, how are you?
Very well.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Great.
Is there a song that, or a band that you listen to which Luke hates?
Luke hates. The other day we were listening to, like myself, Connor and Rob all definitely listened to a lot of shitty pop punk when we were teenagers. And I think Luke just managed to avoid that safely.
But I hate it.
And he hates it. Yeah, there's definitely like the odd like thing of like Sum 41 will slip on when it gets really late at night, or it'll be me and our tour manager in the front, and we'll put all of Dookie on in the van, and just like nobody will be able to stop it. And it's like 3 a.m. and they're like, who let these assholes back in the front? But one particular song, I don't know.
There's a Taking Back Sunday song that always gets played.
Oh, Make Damn Sure by Taking Back Sunday, yeah. There
System
you
of
go.
a Down, I hate that. Yeah, there's a lot of music that people play to piss me off.
We like to relive our teenage years, yeah.
Yeah.
To his detriment.
It just passed me by.
Yeah.
And then the other way around?
Well, not for Dave necessarily, but for Rob, our drummer. You know the band Spoon?
No.
They're an American band, but I love Spoon, and I play that a lot. And Rob will hear it and be like, oh, what's this? But he hates them, but he'll like the song, and he'll be like, what's this? And I'm like, Spoon. And he's like, oh no, this is terrible.
Yeah, he's attached.
But he
this,
always like asks what the song is because he likes it, and he's like, no, I don't like it.
He's attached like this false hatred to the band for some reason, and even though he'll enjoy their music, as soon as he finds out it's Spoon, he's like, oh no, I hate this now. It's like, what is wrong with me?
It's a principle thing.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
exactly,
weird.
yeah.
It's a power play.
It's a power play.
So what bands do you guys listen to? What inspired you as a band?
We were talking about this the other day, and I think there's sort of a breakdown between the bands that inspired us as musicians and then the bands that inspire the music we make. There's a distinction between the two. Like personally, I'd be very much inspired by The Clash and just all their songwriting and music ability, but that wouldn't necessarily directly translate into the music we make.
Yeah, sure. Same like Blur. I'm a huge Damon Albarn fan, but I don't think we necessarily sound like Blur. Although people have said that certain songs have that kind of Britpop kind of feel and influence to it, but I don't think there's necessarily anybody that we, kind of lean on too heavily when it comes to songwriting, or like consciously do anyway. I'm sure people will say otherwise. Yeah.
So what did you listen to growing up?
Oof. I mean, I listened to a lot of, when I was in secondary school, the big thing in my school was kind of hip hop, and kids weren't really into rock music at all, so I only got into it a little bit later. I'd say I was maybe about 16 when I heard The Strokes or Arctic Monkeys, and then I was like, okay, this is the kind of music that I primarily like now. So I used to listen to those bands, but when I was really young, like Red Hot Chili Peppers were a huge band, because I lived beside a very famous concert site in Ireland, and all those bands would have come through, Red Hot Chili Peppers, or Rolling Stones, those kind of bands, so I would have been listening to them because they're near my house.
Oh, so you've seen them live?
Yeah. We played with Chili Peppers last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was mental. It was like up in Northern Ireland, and I think when we were playing it was like 7,000 people.
Yeah, it was like us, and then another 2 acts, I think, and then Fall Out Boy and the Chili Peppers all on the same stage. So we got to hang out with Patrick Stump for like the day. He was just this super chill guy. You just missed his kids.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. He's talking about sushi.
Talking about sushi and wanting to go home. Having a great day, but just like, I do miss my kids. It's like, damn, bro, that sucks.
Yeah.
But I hope you're having a good time.
So you listened to like Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Stones. What was the moment that you thought, I want to make music myself?
Well, I used to go to that concert all the time when I was younger, and it was on once a year. And so I would have seen these bands, and that would have been a big thing for me, being like, wow, 80,000 people in this field to see this band. And I think that just kind of triggered something in me to be like, I want to be in a band. How about you?
God, I don't know. I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of like classic punk from when I was like 13, 14, just like going through the, the internet, as it was probably terrible at the time, using like Windows Media Player to discover like new bands, and then going back and listening to like Stiff Little Fingers and all this like pre-punk and stuff. But I was probably like 16 when myself and Connor, our guitarist, like formed our first like proper band. And I always thought in the back of my mind, like, oh, that's not something I'll ever do. But then I think I was like, when we started Otherkin, I was like, oh shit, we could actually do this.
What changed?
I'd love to do this for my life.
Why did you your mindset change?
It's hard to say. I don't think I'd actively thought about it up to that point. I just, went through the motions of like, oh, you're from, a country with free education, so you're told to like go to university and do this thing and follow that path. And then I was maybe like 20, 21, and I was just like, what the hell? I can do whatever the hell I want in my life.
Yeah. I can do what I want. I'm a grown-ass man.
You only live once. I'm going to give this a shot.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, that's what we did.
So first you went to college?
Yeah, myself and Luke met in the Royal College of Surgeons. We're both studying medicine, which is pretty different.
Different to what we do now, yeah.
Yeah, but if we hadn't done that, and if, for instance, our country didn't have free university education, then we wouldn't have met, probably.
Yeah.
And then there wouldn't be another kind if there wasn't medicine.
And here we are now.
Yeah,
so because you met and became a band, you knew you wanted to do music for a living?
Yeah, I think it kind of, we've been playing together so much and writing songs and releasing that it became more of a reality that that's something that we could do. And I remember when myself and Dave graduated from college, at the same time we were offered a record deal. So we just had to choose between working in a hospital or, going around the world and playing music and drinking every night.
And the big gamble that it was, and I think it's worked out pretty well up to now. So
we're having fun anyway. Yeah. That's the main thing.
But so was medicine like sort of a backup plan?
Yeah, I mean, well, no, that was the kind of, when we went into college, especially for me, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. I actually kind of had a feeling I'd end up doing something in music, but it wasn't the most logical thing for me to go from school, especially because I only started playing guitar at 16 and I was pretty terrible when I left school, even though I would have probably tried to be convincing my parents that I was great, but they'd be like, no, maybe you should go to college. And yeah, it was only as we went on and we enjoyed doing it so much and it kind of took over from medicine that when it came to the point where we had to decide, it made sense, okay, let's just do music. And yeah, here we are. Yeah,
I think I was more so, I confused my love of comedy because I loved that show Scrubs when I was a teenager, and I thought, oh, I'll do medicine because that looks like fun. And I was like, no, you actually just like funny jokes and laughing.
Yeah.
And then just did it because I could get into it. And we were like, okay, well, if you can do it, you might as well do it. And I was like, okay, cool. And halfway through, I was like, wow, this is, if you want to do this for a living, you really have to commit your entire life to that.
Completely, yeah.
And that wasn't what I had in my heart, so I was just like, no. I'm going to finish this 100% and give it everything I can, but this is not for me.
Life's too short, do what you want.
Yeah, do whatever you want, as long as it doesn't piss anyone else off.
Well, it must have been disappointing if you expected it to be like Scrubs.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it wasn't always not like Scrubs, there was definitely one or two moments.
We tried to make it like Scrubs.
I tried to make it like Scrubs, yeah.
But yeah, eventually real life takes over, doesn't it?
So you guys met in college. How did then the band sort of form?
I think after our first year in college, myself and Dave went to Toronto for a summer. It's a really common thing for our students to go over there and work, live there for a while. So we did that for a summer. And Connor, our guitarist, came along. And we spent a lot of days on the porch drinking beers and playing guitars. And we just thought, hey, when we get home, let's form a band. And 3 years later, we did. Because we found our drummer Rob on the internet, and then we all met up and we wrote some songs, and that was the start of Otherkin, really.
So when did sort of the writing process for the album start?
I think, so after we signed the record deal, it became more of a reality that doing an album would be something that would be happening quite soon. And I think every kind of session from then on, well, initially we put out an EP after signing, or 2 EPs, after signing the album deal. And it was when the second EP came out, we were like, okay, it's now album time. But we kept kind of songs that we'd written from before that time in contention for the album. But from that point on, it was like, okay, the songs that we were writing will be songs that will be in the album. So let's get our heads down and get into this. And we spent a lot of time just, we'd go on sort of trips down the country in rural Ireland into like a little cabin, kind of like Bon Iver, but instead of chopping wood and, thinking to himself, we just drank a lot and stayed up until like 4 a.m. with very altered mind states.
Yeah, with just cabin fever, basically, just locked ourselves in and we're like, okay, we're going to stay here for the next 6 days. And, things might get a little bit weird because we were in the middle of nowhere. and it's just us.
Yeah.
And then just like, okay, let's just write some music.
The electricity went. There was a lot of tribal dancing around fires at one point. I don't know why.
Yeah, we built this fucking massive fire, and we ended up writing "Yeah, I Know." I think the next morning we like woke up and we were like, all of us just feeling like absolute dog shit, and we were trying to write this song, and then I think one of us was just like, let's just play one note. Let's just stick on one note and see what happens. And then the next thing, like the riff for "Yeah, I Know" came, was like just a very collaborative thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was either like spontaneous like that, or somebody might bring in an idea and we produce it as a group. But yeah, it was just
I remember there was one song we wrote, "Treat Me So Bad," at like probably about 4 o'clock in the morning, and the next day we kind of forgot about it when we'd woken up, and then we're like, oh, I think we wrote a song last night, didn't we?
I checked my phone and was like, oh, there's a voice recording here, and it was the song in full.
The song in full, yeah. We'd written in like probably the same amount of time it takes to listen to it, and we listened back. We were like, hey, this isn't shit, and
let's see if we can play it again. Does anybody remember how to play this song?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
when was this?
This would have been last summer. The
Yeah.
summer before we recorded the album.
Yeah, summer 2016.
So mainly it was that year, like a full year. Some of the songs went back a bit further, like AA and Feel It were like songs we were written to do as demos for an EP, or just to do as demos, and then we got the recordings back and the label was like, we want to release this as an EP. We're like, okay, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
What is then the oldest song that made it on the record?
It's actually a song called 89, and that was a song that we had put out kind of even before the 2 EPs that came before the album, and we'd stopped playing it live for quite a while, and it was only when we went in to record the album and we were considering, like we recorded more songs than actually ended up in the album. I think we recorded like 16, and the very last minute we were like, hey, why don't we just record 89 again, and I'll rewrite the lyrics and we'll see how it sounds. And we did that, and everybody was like, this sounds amazing, let's just put it on the album. And that's definitely our oldest song, I'd say. It's probably one of the first songs we ever wrote together. Yeah. And we just like resurrected it.
Completely, I just reproduced it and changed the arrangement slightly, and we're like, okay, we revisited at a point where we were much better songwriters and much more capable musicians. But actually probably worse musicians.
Yeah, worse, yeah.
Yeah, but definitely much more capable songwriters. And yeah, we'll just give it another chance.